I am a big fan of this stuff, Gorilla Glue. I've been told it's not as good as like super glue or crazy glue, but it seems like the same exact stuff to me, only it's a little bit thicker. And for some reason, it just works better for me. I don't know, maybe it's just a different consistency or something. This is the little ball that Natalie uses when it hits the back of the car. She knows to stop. A lot of people do this. So a lot of people use tennis balls. We use this wiffle ball because it was there, and the tennis ball, though, would probably work just fine. But this one actually makes kind of a clunk noise when you tap it against the back of the car. It's kind of nice. So let's see if we can put a few drops of glue on here. Now, lay your bets now. If I actually manage to glue my fingers to the table. Now with this stuff, less is more. Oop, a little bead on there. That's pretty much it. And I'm going to let this set. One problem with this stuff that I have is it takes forever for it to start to dry. But that's actually a good thing. It's I have to hold my breath because I have to get so close and use twice as much as I really need. It's not getting in the crack. Shut up. Yeah, this stuff is thicker than like crazy glue and super glue, so I think that's what the difference is. Now, stop. Alright, let it sit. A little pressure on it, and I don't have any. Prop this up here. God damn it. Oh yeah, warning, cussing. I would use hot glue, but the problem is hot glue separates out in the garage, I've noticed. I use the high temperature stuff. If I use the low temperature stuff, it liquefies out in the garage, but if I use the high temperature stuff, it still gets sticky again out in the garage. So apparently it's hot enough in here to make the glue start to separate. This is never going to work. I'm just going to have to hold it for 5 minutes. That's the wrong song. What's I should whistle "Girl from Iwanapa" or whatever it's called. I can't remember how the tune goes though. All right, well let's cut all this out. Let's see. So today is a Sunday morning. Today's Sunday the 18th of September 2016, and I got up this morning and I was having a great day. I got up and I made myself a cup of coffee and I sat down to drink it, and I even found the silk instead of the whole milk. There's a whole nother rant. You know, in the United States of America, we don't have whole milk. When you see whole milk, what it is, it's skim milk that they put the fat back in, and it doesn't stay connected properly, so it separates and it becomes, you know, this gooey stuff in the middle of the milk. So you have to shake the milk and all this kind of stuff. Well, true whole milk comes basically out of the cow, and they to pasteurize it, they boil the milk essentially, almost boil it, and the fat separates out of it, and it kills a lot of the germs, which is great. And then they put the fat back in and call it whole milk. And that's not really whole milk. I don't know if you've ever tasted real whole milk. I mean, it's basically illegal in the United States unless you make your own from a cow. You can't purchase it, and you can't. Yeah, I don't even think you can give it away. So, when you see whole milk, it's not whole milk. When you pour it in coffee, it just immediately separates, and all this scum comes up to the top of your coffee, and I hate that. And I had somebody ask me, why I preferred skim milk in my coffee, because that's all you're really getting anyway. You get skim milk with goo in it, and if you look at Coffee Mate, which is a brand name, not a sponsor, they actually use some other method to make that scum on top. I don't know what they do, but I bet that's the real reason why that stuff sells so well, is because it doesn't separate. and make this scum on the top of your coffee. I bet that's the only reason why people buy that stuff by the drove, including me. I like that stuff. That's got to be it. This might actually hold. Now what I'm really worried about is gluing this to the back of the car. So I'm going to leave it up, propped up here. What was I ranting about before the milk thing? I got off on a tangent on the milk, and now the other thing's gone. Oh, the terrorist attacks. I got up this morning, had my coffee. I found the silk, so I'm like having the best coffee of my life back here. I make it with a French press, and it's good. It's just Folgers, but it's still, you make it that way, and it just tastes so much better. Sit down at my computer, and I'm watching a few YouTube videos, and I'm watching some of my subscriptions, and I just happen to look at Reddit. Why do I look at Reddit on Sunday morning? I don't know. Top entry: bomb goes off in New York. There's something else happening in New Jersey. There was a stabbing somewhere, and I'm like, why do I do this? Why do I read this stuff on Sunday morning? I should save that for other times when I can handle it better. So honestly, I came out here and I saw that this little ball had separated, and I'm like, I need to fix that, just because I need something to do with my hands while I'm worried about our country and terrorist attacks. And you know, at least this time they used a bomb and they didn't use guns. I mean, that was an edict that actually came out from ISIS. That ISIS and Al Qaeda and all of them agree on one thing: that terrorists should not use guns anymore, because then the politicians will just try to make it gun control rules. You know, they'll just try to change the rules on gun control instead of addressing and admitting that it was a terrorist attack. It's, well, we need to do things that you can't blame on other things. You don't use guns. Don't do it in a workplace. There's all these other reasons, all these other things that they can blame it on. You need to make sure that when you do a terrorist attack, that you can't blame it on something else. You can't re-steer the blame to something else. It has to be obviously a terrorist attack, and there's nothing else that it could be blamed on. And that's what it's come down to. I can't fathom how we got here. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't understand how we got here. How did this video turn into a rant about terrorism? But anyway, I had to come out here and do something with my hands. I think I glued the string as well. I don't think that's a problem, if I'm honest. There's a knot. No, that's just, okay, so I haven't glued the string yet. Okay. Yet. Yeah, you notice the yet. I don't see any drips on the table. My fingers aren't stuck to the ball yet. Still tacky. Very tacky. Okay. This is going to take forever. Oh shit, Kelly. Put the lid back on the glue. You guys are probably sick of the rant. Wonder why nobody watches my videos. Political rants in the middle of gluing a ball back together. Alright, I'd rather glue it to the table than the car. Do you see how bent this is? Is that coming out on camera? That rail right there, and how bent that is? And I wonder why my door bangs so much when it goes up and down. It bangs on this side. Does that help any, or does that make it worse? Can you not tell how bent the frickin' rail is? And the thing is, I'm terrified. You see how much further the rods, or whatever the hell these are sticking out here than they are over here. I mean, this was banged right up against the deal, and this was a little bit further out, and this was like barely stuck in inside the housing, and then it comes over here, and again it's banged right in. So this piece bows out quite a bit. I didn't hang the door. I don't know. I don't know how to fix it without breaking it. I'm afraid of just trying to bend the damn thing. All I'll do is make it worse. It almost looks like that's a second run door hanger. That sucks. No, the door did come off the hinges at one point. It did come off the rails at one point. I had to hire a couple of guys to come out. It cost me $185 to have the door put back. Oh, you need to lubricate it more. Well, it'd be nice to know that was that crooked. I just noticed it standing here. The other side's not quite that bad. It's still a little beat up too. But that's crooked. I don't know what to do about it. I don't dare touch it myself. I'm just not. I am unworthy of jacking with that. And this just fell apart all on its own, by the way. So the glue thing's not working. I'm going to have to think of something else. Okay, bear with me, I'm having trouble holding the camera because I'm covered in glue. Now, be prepared to laugh at me. So, I can laugh at myself at least. I may end up with my little tripod all glued up because I'm holding it by the I'm holding the camera by the tripod because I'm trying not to touch the camera except with this pinky because there's no glue on that pinky. So the glue started getting tacky, and I notice now in retrospect, the glue, I've put enough on here that the glue is actually tightening up and it's squeezing the ball out of shape. So the two halves don't fit together right anymore. And just the weight of this handle is holding it here, and just the flat side of this is holding it up. So the first person that comes through here, this is going to fall off on their toe. But the glue just started tacking up, and I'm going to go try to get cleaned up before anybody wakes up. It's like 11 o'clock in the morning. Of course, everybody sleeps until frickin' 3 o'clock in the afternoon around here, except me. So, I'm going to let this go for now, and come back in a little bit and see if I've managed to glue the wrench, the pliers, the table. Okay, so it's like 2 hours later, and the glue appears to be dry, and I can tell because it dried on my hands, so it's probably dry in here as well. And I guess I'm not even aiming the camera at the action here. Nobody came out in the garage. Nobody came out in the garage, so this, this is ridiculously unstable setup. Stop driving by, damn it, I'm shooting a video. So, it does not appear that I glued the wrench to the desk, to the table. Yeah, that seems to have worked. I wonder how many bangs against the back of the car it'll put up with. Yeah, it feels like it's one piece. Okay, so a rescued fail, we'll call this. So, still makes a noise. Hits the back of the car, which is what it needs to do. So, a rescued success. And now that the glue is dried against my hands, it's not really a problem. I don't have any clamps. So that's all I had. I actually tried to hook. Okay, the camera's probably going to fall over. Now, I tried to take this. Never mind. Okay, I've got some in here someplace. Here we go. And take a pair of vice grips and make the world's largest vice grips. But the closest thing I had that would work. Where'd it go? I thought it was on top. Was this guy. The jaws don't go wide enough. Told you the camera was going to fall. That's a weird. Try this. Alright, good enough. Fortunately, this thing isn't wide enough to be able to work anything. So, I tried to get this to where it would go, but I had to open the jaws up so wide that it still wouldn't work. I mean, if you open them up too wide, that gets to the point they won't grab. Well, actually that might work. But I didn't have to. Fortunately, just the weight of the wrench, I mean this thing weighs a ton, it's made of steel. Just the weight of this thing being pushed down against the floor of against the top of the shelf was enough to hold the ball still. And I just happened to have a tooth or a channel on here wide enough that it would work. Purchased that giant wrench for toilet repair because you gotta, between the toilet and the tank, you've got this mechanism. You got this screw-on connector ring that seals between the toilet and the tank. So, and that you got to get one of those. It's like $16 or something. Anyway, rescue, yay! It works. Woohoo! We'll see if anybody notices that it got fixed. Nobody watches my videos, even in my own household, so they're not going to see this. Get away with all kinds of crap on this channel because nobody watches it. So I got to remember to put this back in the kitchen because that's the place where the Gorilla Glue goes, is the kitchen, not the garage. Anyway, so all right. When somebody asks me how'd your weekend go, Kelly, I was like, oh, I did manly stuff out in the garage.